Misty?
Um, oh, dear spirit, I need to know the truth. Does the person I like me back?
Yellowjackets Season 1 is a masterclass in slow-burn psychological horror, a show that immediately carves out its own identity by blending genre conventions with raw emotional storytelling. From the very first frame, it tells you exactly what kind of world you're stepping into, one where trauma isn't just a theme, it's a living, breathing force. It's not just a survival thriller, not just a mystery, and not just horror. It's all of that and more, operating like a long-form descent into madness across two timelines that mirror and distort each other in deeply unsettling ways.
It's so unfair. My dress was gonna be amazing.
Well, hey, at least you can wear it next year.
You don't get it, Van, because nobody asked you.
Okay, you're done.
At its core, Yellowjackets is about what happens when a group of teenage girls is pushed beyond the edge of what most people would consider human experience. After their plane crashes in the wilderness in 1996, they're left stranded with no adults, no guidance, and no clear idea of how long they'll have to survive. Over time, starvation, desperation, and paranoia chip away at their sense of identity and morality. But instead of going full Lord of the Flies immediately, the show simmers. It lets you see the slow erosion of normalcy. You see friendships decay, group dynamics fracture, loyalties shift, and new rules begin to form. What's genius is that the show never fully commits to whether something supernatural is happening or not. There are symbols etched in the trees, strange phenomena, and references to rituals and cult-like behavior. But it always leaves the door open for the interpretation that everything might just be the result of trauma, starvation, and collective madness. And that ambiguity is deeply unnerving.
Shauna, get the fuck up!
The storytelling structure of Yellowjackets plays with time in a way that feels less like a gimmick and more like a psychological echo chamber. The 1996 timeline is brutal and primal, while the present-day timeline, set roughly 25 years later, is soaked in guilt, repression, and the haunting knowledge that the past never really stays buried. The women who survived the ordeal are not triumphant heroes. They're broken, guarded, and in some cases deeply dangerous. The contrast between who they were and who they've become is one of the show's most compelling elements. There's no clear line between victim and perpetrator here. Survival came at a cost, and they've been paying the interest on that cost every day since. Melanie Lynskey gives a career-defining performance as adult Shauna. She's stuck in a suburban existence that feels as lifeless as the frozen wilderness once was. You can feel her barely holding herself together, her deadpan delivery hiding a deep, simmering rage and regret that eventually boils over in violent and self-destructive ways. Juliette Lewis's Natalie is volatile, bitter, and vulnerable all at once. She's been through hell and has internalized it in a way that defines every relationship she has. Tawny Cypress plays Taysa as someone desperately trying to distance herself from the past, running for political office while slowly unraveling. But it's Christina Ricci as Misty, who steals almost every scene. As a teenager, Misty was needy, obsessive, and manipulative, traits that have only become more dangerous with age. She's both comic relief and the show's most terrifying character, someone whose desire for connection often crosses ethical boundaries in chilling ways.
Lottie, knock it off. This isn't a game.
Is that French? Since when does Lottie speak French?
The teen cast deserves equal praise for bringing their counterparts to life with an eerie sense of continuity. Sophie Nélisse as teen Shauna walks the fine line between guilt and complicity, often playing second fiddle to her best friend Jackie while hiding a massive betrayal. Jasmine Savoy Brown makes Tysa's inner conflict feel palpable as her attempts at leadership become increasingly authoritarian. Sophie Thatcher gives Natalie a raw edge, showing how deeply her trauma shaped her toughness. And Samantha Henratty delivers one of the most unsettling performances of the series as young Misty, whose need to be needed leads to actions that are both pitiful and monstrous.
Coach, God. Coach, God!
One of the most fascinating aspects of Yellowjackets is how it centers female relationships in a genre space that often sidelines them. The show is unafraid to show these girls as cruel, manipulative, selfish, or violent, while still grounding their actions in character and context. It doesn't fall into the trap of turning them into saints or villains. It allows them to be messy, contradictory, and real. The dynamics between the girls are just as dangerous as the wilderness surrounding them. Jealousy, lust, betrayal, revenge, these all become survival tools as much as fire or food. And when the cracks start to show, when the line between person and predator starts to blur, the show leans in hard. There's a constant undercurrent of dread throughout the entire season. Every conversation feels like it could explode into violence. Every flashback offers just a few more clues about the horror we know is coming. The show opens with a cryptic scene of a masked girl being hunted, gutted, and possibly eaten by the others. That image hangs over everything that follows, a grotesque promise of what's to come. But Yellowjackets doesn't rush to that moment. It understands that anticipation is often scarier than the reveal. And it uses that anticipation to explore deeper questions. What are we capable of when no one is watching? How much of our civilized behavior is performative? And once you become someone capable of unspeakable things, how do you go back to being normal? The violence, when it comes, is shocking, but never gratuitous. It's always grounded in character, always a reflection of something deeper. Whether it's a spontaneous stabbing, a suicide, or a mercy killing, every act feels like part of a slow march towards something primal. And yet, the show never lets you feel fully comfortable blaming the circumstances. There's a suggestion, subtle but chilling, that some of these girls didn't just survive the horror. They embraced it. By the time the season ends, you're not just watching to find out what happened in the past. You're desperate to understand what it did to the people who lived through it. There are still so many questions about the mysterious Antler Queen, about who survived, about what exactly went down during those final months in the wilderness. But the show is careful about what it reveals and what it withholds. It's playing the long game, and it knows it has you.
She's staying here. There's blood where, Lottie? You really have to be encouraging her, Van. Blood here or out there?
Coach, do something. Make them stop. Coach?
Yellowjackets Season 1 is more than just an entertaining horror series. It's a deep exploration of trauma, identity, power, and the dangerous allure of freedom in chaos. It challenges the viewer to consider what survival really means, and whether the true horror lies in what they did out there, or how they've lived with it ever since. If you're looking for a show that's eerie, emotional, intelligent, and genuinely disturbing in ways that stick with you, Yellowjackets is absolutely essential viewing. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts and theories. Who do you think the Antler Queen is? Did something supernatural happen in the woods? Or was the horror entirely human? Let's get into it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more in-depth horror reviews.
We have to go back inside!